This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah! Already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun up? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on all right.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
And welcome to another edition of Talking Heads. No, I am not Naughty. No, I am not MJ. This is Kahun Anku Sarah, also known as Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III. And it is a Thursday, the 14th of May. We'll be with you up until the 6 o'clock hour. And I pray that you are staying dry on these wet streets. Please watch out for the pedestrians as you're driving. I actually saw somebody, a student was walking, and there was a big puddle of water. And they actually allowed the student to sit in their car to drive through the water and then let them out. So I just want to congratulate whoever that was and just say, please, just watch out for the pedestrians as you're driving today, because it's easy to, splash people and not know. But if you want to be a talking head, what do?
Here's how you can become a talking head. Brought to you by BTC.
323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259, the Family of Islands, 242-300-5720. The Guardian Radio text line is powered by BTC. It's 422-4796. That's 422-4796. Standard text rates do apply. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com. You can also listen to us on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 or BTC Flow Channel 612. And so we are in the wake of a general election. And I caught the tail end of Garth's show. And we're going to talk a little bit about, I didn't catch the whole show, so I don't know everything they talked about, but I do want to talk about transparency. I do want to talk about making changes that I think will benefit us in the process. And that's whether the PLP wins, the FNM wins, COI win, independent win. The system has been utilized in a way that allows it to potentially be abused for years. All right. During this process, I heard a lot of different potential ways that the system could be abused. And no system is perfect. As Garth was saying earlier, the 100% transparency may not be a reality, but if we could get 90%, if we could get 95%. But just some basic questions. Earlier, I was just trying to get an understanding of what the actual counts were in the actual election, candidate by candidate. And I wasn't able to find that information up to the time of the show. If it has come out, just please let me know. But I find it disturbing that information is not readily available when, in this case, it's the PLP who is forming the government, but they're swearing in today, right? As well as the official opposition is swearing in today. But I remember a conversation I was having with some people in my neighborhood, and they wanted to know, okay, well, how much did Owen Wells win by? How much did Shannon Dawn Cartwright lose by? And these are questions we should know, even before a swearing in takes place. Yes, there's a recount taking place, but can we get the count and the recount numbers? If those numbers aren't the same, shouldn't we know if they're not the same? I'm just saying. For a ironclad system, and some people would love to tout it as an ironclad system, should be more transparent, right? So this idea of moving boxes, 50 plus years, we've been having this process. We need a better way to deal with these ballot boxes, right? Why are ballot boxes coming back to the Capitol? Why are they not staying in the Family Islands? Why are we shipping boxes down to the Family Islands and bringing them back? Why is all these boxes moving around? Do we need to build a proper facility to properly vote in the various islands? I mean, if our democracy means as much to us as we say it does, is that something that we need to do? Do we need 24-hour cameras? As I think Brother Dean was saying, forgive me if I said your name wrong, bro. I normally have to write names down to remember them. But, you know, the people who work the polling divisions, I'm sure within their mind, there's systems in place that, no, man, you can't get around this. But the electorate needs to be very clear about that, right? We have the technology to do that now. We don't have to learn from a poll worker what the system is like. The same way you can commentate because, you know, we're saying sailing is our number one sport, but politics is our number one sport. You should be able to, in a responsible way, show what's happening in the room and make sure people can see what the process is. Yes, every party has an agent, as Brother Kyle was saying, but the electorate, in many instances, will never have that opportunity or probably want to have that opportunity. It's a lot of work. Much respect to all of the poll workers and everybody who made the election the success that it was for the parts that were successful. But if the process is as ironclad, if you cannot steal an election, then you clearly should have more transparency. I shouldn't need anybody to tell me that an election cannot be stolen. I should be able to see that for myself because we have the technology now to actually make sure that people can see it, right? The idea that ballot boxes have to be moved, that's ridiculous to me. I don't understand why those ballot boxes have to be moved. We need a better system than that. There needs to be one place that you can go and vote, and those ballots will be counted in that same building, done. They can actually, the ballots going into a safe or find a way. There's a better way. Don't tell me I need a police escort for a box in 2026. That's foolishness. We have too many intelligent people in this country, and we can figure out a way to make this process so we can make the process less antagonistic. You understand? But obviously, see, the devil works in chaos. And I ain't calling nobody the devil. I calling the system the devil. But unfortunately, people who know the system know just how to work the system. And so at the end of the day, we as a people have to decide what it is that we want. Do we want to go through this madness consistently every 5 years? Or can we begin to fix some things in the system? So I brought up the point or the point that Lincoln Bain was making, because I was covering Lincoln Bain in the COI that night on election night for Guardian 96.9. And so I was there, and he was raising questions about the process, and everybody know me and Lincoln don't see eye to eye all the time. But I definitely was proud of what he was able to accomplish during this general election. We were at the headquarters. When I say we, myself and another news agency, I gotta shout out ZNS because that's my boy Lloyd Allen. Lloyd Allen and I, we good friends. So we both were there and they had a team with him. And then we had supporters that came to the COI headquarters. And then, it was just eerily quiet. So we were like, well, where are they? Are they coming here? And then one of the supporters saw that Lincoln was in the lead. And so they got excited and they said, we going wherever Lincoln is. So we followed. And turns out they were right where the polling division was at CV Bethel. I think that's CV Bethel, right? And so we were there. And by the time the time between us leaving the headquarters and getting to where Lincoln Bain was, the lead had shifted. And LaRota had taken the lead based on the next few polling divisions that were counted. Now, of course, people had their feelings about, how quickly or how high the number jumped from one polling division to the next. But these are the things that we need clarity on or just some transparency on. Because if there's nothing untoward going on, then just explain it. Because most of us have never worked in a polling division. And I would like to think that our process is fair. You understand? But if there's all of this gray area and this cloud of a recount and, we don't really have the exact numbers yet. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? All of this, and why is this so important? This lack of transparency or lack of understanding, it trickles down into mainstream society. Because what happens is, as people watch the process of our leaders, and they believe that the process is flawed, and they believe that things aren't transparent and that skullduggery is taking place at the highest level, well, people begin to govern themselves personally in that way. And I'm not giving people any right to do that, but I'm just talking plain human nature. You understand? We begin to say, well, that's the way things are. This is how I'm going to operate because this is the way the system operates. You understand? And so one of the first things I would like to see addressed is these boxes moving up and down. If the parliamentary registrar department needs a specific wing added on so we could go directly there and vote, there has to be something that can be done. And I know, well, we got to keep it spread out because, and I'm hearing what people are saying. No, but everything got to be spread out because you can't have everybody converge on one building. Okay, hear you there. The idea of the Family Island boxes coming to New Providence, I still don't understand that. I don't understand that. They could go down there and stay down there and live down there. And you keep it in a safe place until the next 5 years. Right? I don't believe the people in New Providence are more honest than the people in the Family Islands. You could have officers in the Family Islands that do their job, right? And the boxes don't have to move. You understand? So we're an archipelago. It's very difficult to run an archipelago. And I'm sure these questions or these concerns have been brought up before. And I'm sure that people who are listening, who work the polls, will say, no, well, here's why it can't. So I'm intentionally doing this so that a conversation can be had so that we know the process. And it becomes more transparent. If the boxes have to move, just explain why they got to move. explain why we can't have cameras so we could see the process when ballots are being counted. Kyle explained why he thought we didn't need to know the count after the advance poll. What do you feel about that? You know, we just need more transparency. Let's go to the phone lines here on Talking Heads. Call you live.
Pleasant good afternoon, Dr. Enos.
Hey, Sparky, how you doing? Pleasant good afternoon.
Boy, I tell you the truth, this almost reminds me of the advance poll. Getting through to yours is like getting through the advance poll.
Sparky, talk, man.
But if you give me a moment, I listen.
But you crying, you prattling. Just talk. Because you like you want to run the show. Just talk.
Over half an hour, then you came on, and then you started.
All right, let's go to the next caller. Call you live. Call you live here on Talking Heads.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well.
Is this Anku?
Yes, it is. Thanks for calling.
I am in total agreement with what you're saying.
Thank you.
I don't have a clue why we're up and down with these boxes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is transparent. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
That last crew that was on from 2 to 4, bunch of cackling men. I had to turn the radio off. It was sickening.
Oh, Lord.
Refreshing to hear you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much for listening.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, I mean, we got too many intelligent people in this country that can sit down and we could figure some stuff out. But what going on right now? It's like child's play. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Uncle.
How you doing, brother?
It's to someone's benefit to have boxes moving around as if they have life and limb. Because, I can intercept the movement. So, yeah, I am surprised they're not moving from the Family Islands to New Providence and then back to the Family Islands to make sure that they came from the Family Islands and then come back to New Providence. Yeah. But see, Uncle, you know for a fact, if I were to whisper a sentence, not a paragraph, just a sentence in your ear.
Right.
And have you whisper that same sentence to someone else, and we use 100 persons.
Yeah.
By the time as I hear that sentence that I whispered into your ear,
it
ain't gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So
you could use 10. You could use 10 people and it wouldn't be the same.
It's just 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so it is to someone's advantage to have things moving about.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
And it's also to someone's advantage to keep things secret from us, because I've been asking the question, how many babies were born in the past 30 years at Princess Margaret Hospital or in the Bahamas? Because that's 30 potential voters after 18 years of each one of them. And if I had that knowledge, then I could market myself to new potential voters. But if I'm going to keep the information, especially if those are undocumented individuals, I have a whole bunch of people I can market myself to, and you wouldn't even know I'm doing it. You see? Yeah. So how many babies? See, like right now, I could go online, I could find out exactly how the NASDAQ is moving, because there has to be a report. That's why this boy trying to power. But I know, because they have to report.
Yeah.
But we keep things secret only for the government to use to our disadvantage and to their advantage.
But the government's supposed
because
to
you can imagine how
fast.
many kids were born to undocumented individuals in the past 40 years, the potential of voters, even though they have the right to apply for citizenship, but if you were to guide them into it, like I know has been happening, you got yourself a voter for life. So we need to look at that, and I wish Mr. Pintard had looked at that large number of individuals who actually were able to just knock him out, because the young Bahamians, and I won't say Bahamian, they weren't interested because they grew up in a society listening to but listen, if I was in that other group and I got you give me my passport, I can vote for you until I die.
Exactly.
And that's what the PLP has going for them. And I don't know how the opposition is going to get into that, because that's a growing, that's an embryo that's got a bunch of people in it.
Yeah. One of the things I heard people suggesting was, well, why did the F&M concede so casually, knowing that we had all these accusations of false, or not necessarily false, but people who weren't supposed to have voting cards having voters cards, people who ain't supposed to have passports having passports. You had this 98 cases being investigated in the courts. So something is going on. You understand? But thank you so much for calling. Let's go to the text line before we go back to the phone line. Pastor, I have yet to see the results for St. James, Nassau Village, and wherever K Mills ran in Abaco. See? What if we have a plane? Oh, boy. Wow, this is a great... listen to this now. I want y'all to listen to this. What if we have a plane crash while transporting the ballot box from a family island? That's a serious... Now, I guess they're coming on planes, right? Because they got to get them back quickly. Would that be safe like a black box? That's a very good question, Dexter. Because if that happened, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I think ballot boxes should be constructed without keys that cannot be opened unless it's sawed open. Wow. That's where no tampering can be done. And potentially, wherever these, like you using these schools to have, the polling divisions, perhaps in those schools, there's implemented ballot boxes for these general elections. And then like the taxes say, hey, you got to saw this open. You can't, ain't no tape, All right. I tell you, we got enough smart people to figure this out. I do agree with you 100%. I think the ballot boxes should be counted at the end of the night in advance poll. See? You need transparency. How many protest ballots were casted? I don't know. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Hey, Mr. Uncle. Mr. Uncle Chua.
How you doing, man? Thanks for listening.
Very well, man. Listen, I've been listening from the other show, and of course, I tap into your show very often.
Yes, sir.
And I want to tell you that I do agree. Man, I think the ballot boxes are outdated. In a technical world that we live in, when everything could be digitized, why are we still doing manual work?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that this, and I was one of the poll workers, not an advanced poll, but I worked in the general election. And it's amazing how I thought about the fact that after, we did all the recounts and that, how persons write on the ballot things that they want to just really use profanity and just kind of X out the candidate. But my thing is, I think there should be a little training session. If we could do a little something on the networks where we kind of teach people how to vote. Like when you put these extra stuff and you mark these X and put these other stuff on the ballot, it spoils the ballot.
Yeah.
All right. And I just feel personally that in a digital world, in a technologically advanced world, we need to digitize the system.
Yeah.
It's just too manual for me. All right. So that's my 2 cents.
I appreciate that. Yeah. We still writing up voters' biometric cards to come in. They didn't make it into this election, but I pray this is the last election that we have any written up voters' cards. And I pray whenever they're giving out the new biometric cards that the people who's supposed to have them actually have them. Because, again, there's a looming question as to whether or not everybody that has a voter's card is supposed to have one. And that needs to be addressed. Let's go back to the text line. Uncle Garth, goddamn need to realize ain't everyone who speaks negative about the PLP is COI or F&M. My papa, on the Declaration of Independence, my grandfather was one of Penland's generals. I vote for the betterment of the Bahamas, not to lotion party and man. Yeah, some people really care about the country. Yes, we need clarity because how many votes are in the advanced polling box? And what polling division are they combined with? Why we don't know that for every constituency. See? So even if they say, well, we don't want to say who in the lead, we still need to know what the process is. If you say 100 ballots was used, then we need to know 100 ballots was used. I don't know how many ballots was used. And if anyone does, please call in or text in and just let us know. You understand? But this foolishness was going on, this ain't making no sense. See, this another generation coming up that we gonna have to fix this. We done watch enough nonsense go on in this country by both parties. Let me just be clear about my whole positioning and where I coming from. Both parties, FNM and PLP, okay, have utilized skullduggery, in my opinion, to get what they want. Okay? So I ain't sitting up here crying for the FNM. Because I don't cry but the PLP, and I ain't crying but the COI. I crying for this country. This texter says, hey, bro, Uncle, it's 2026. I believe it's for us to invest in voting machines with scannable biometric cards and do away with the indelible ink paper ballots and ballot boxes. I agree. See, the point that Garth was making in the last hour about us making political commentary and, dragging each other through the mud. Yes, people are listening. But we's listening to them too. We's listening to them talk about but their systems and each other too. That's politics. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that, well, first of all, I want to hear what the observers have to say. When is that report due? Is that going to be published? I would really like to know when that is scheduled to be published, and we need to go through that. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Hey, Uncle, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I agree with the lady. That previous show was a clown show. So all that was rubbish, and it always is. I also agree with you. The concession speech was premature.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have in the campaign, if you having problems and voicing opinions about the problems of the voters card and the passports and stuff, and you so quickly
concede. Yeah.
That was just totally crazy. I have a question though. The ballots are counted in the Family Islands. I wonder if they check them once they airlifted and reach the Nassau, if it's the same count.
But see, that's my point. My point is we should have already, the count should have been online on the PDR's, the Parliamentary Directory's website. That count should have been on there. And then when the recount comes, you put the recount numbers up next to it.
Right, I agree.
You understand? Don't tell me you recount it and then you come with one number. I need a count and a recount number.
Right. All right. Okay.
Yeah. That's the transparency we're looking for. Call you live. Sorry. Go ahead, caller. All right, let me go back to the text line. Oh, sorry. You there?
Yes, thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for calling, man.
I have an opinion, not a comment.
Sure.
Well, actually, a few responses. In terms of the concession, each polling division had counts. And based on the information that they got from the different polling divisions, and the number of persons, and they concluded their counting, their preliminary counts, then the leader of the opposition would have already known that it's an insurmountable amount to get back and to win, or be on the top. So I don't see any problem with letting it, declare that I have lost from night one, rather than wait until day 2 or 3.
So let me ask you this, caller. If you have a concern about the process, even though you may know I am not going to win this election, right? He definitely, based on the count, we lose this election. However, some things went on in this election that need to be fixed moving forward. That's why I'm saying I thought it was premature. Because even if he had questioned or put on record some of the concerns that he had, then we could at least have some type of I don't know, precedent or some type of conversation or discussion that could help to move some of these issues out of the way for the next election. So obviously, I'm not beating up on Michael Pintard because, that was a long day. That was a long day he had, and as far as he was concerned, like, we ain't win, so let's just move on. So but I'm just saying my concern is more than just winning and losing. My concern is there are obvious problems that we have in this process. I think if he had at least questioned, because he was questioning before the election. He was
correct.
So where did those questions go?
I don't think it's too late. I suppose that you go along with the formality, and then he could still have concern or let those part be addressed. Because he's also in the House of Assembly. He will be either elected MP as well. Now, but my other concern or thing that I was thinking of this evening, normally what I do, I analyze all the results. Of course, I'm expecting to get those numbers. I haven't gotten those numbers yet. I accept the results. I actually I'm proud of the results. Right?
Why are you proud?
Because I can see the handwriting on the wall coming. Right?
But why are you proud though?
I think it was time for that right now.
Let me ask you. I asking you why you proud, because these landslide victories don't help us.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Oh, that part of it. No, that part of it.
See, I'm proud of that. I was expecting a closer. I was expecting numbers to be closer.
That's my major reason for calling this even. I am not proud of the landslide because the landslide is saying every MP got an A grade.
Right. that ain't the case.
As a teacher, I don't give every student an A grade. You gotta work to get the A.
Yeah.
So that's but it's part of our system. The way our system operates, we go by the party and we go by the leader, and so the party and the leader carry them, and everybody get dragged. It's like what is the fishing that is not allowed in Andros. Boat fishing. You're not supposed to drag net fishing in the lower of the sea and catch all the baby fish and whatever. But that's what happened. Everybody get dragged, and everybody. A lot of people run big this time.
Yeah. And it's happened. It's happened in several elections. Yeah.
So that's our system. The way the way we. But by the way, the person who spoil their ballots, I think they do so intentionally.
Some people.
Year after year.
Some people do. Do. I mean, when we dipped our finger in the ink, the presiding officer was very careful to say, make sure this don't get on no other part of the ballot. So that even that part of the, because my son was voting for the first time, so I had to say, make sure hold that napkin over your finger while you writing. So you writing with this napkin over your finger.
I think they should even with the ink, they should ink you after rather than before.
Well, they ink you before. so that ink could get on that ballot, and you could have somebody say that the ballot's spoiled.
When we get electronic, we heard about in America where they had the Dominion machines. People can still complain that there was something went on. It was interfered via an online. Somebody was able to access the program and do some mass voting. So no, nothing is really foolproof.
Yeah, but America is much more people, and what would be important in a system like that? If you change the system, you got to educate people. You got to explain to people how it works to the best of your ability, so that even if you have a situation where people are saying, "No, this was tampered with," people have a working understanding of how the system works, so that if it is tampered with, they can then raise proper questions, as opposed to just hearing somebody say something. But I agree.
And last but not least, not all the things that we say on the radio or social media are necessarily true. So sometimes there's a lot of inflammatory things.
You're true.
And then the end result, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. The result totally different.
Yeah. No, that's why they call it silly season. That's why they call it silly season. All kind of craziness. You just watch people
I'm not a preacher. I said last but not least. I am actually surprised that there is a swearing in of ministers today, because I would have loved to be there. But also, I agree with you that the numbers should have been out before the swearing in.
I'm glad you agree with that. With that. Thank you so much for calling. A concession speech in the Westminster system is a formal public statement by the leader of a political party acknowledging that they have lost an election and will not be able to form a government. Unlike presidential systems where power rests in a single individual, the concession speech is a parliamentary framework. In a parliamentary framework, has distinct characteristics. So the core meaning and the function of a concession speech is to, number one, acknowledge defeat. The losing leader publicly admits that their party cannot win enough parliamentary seats to secure a majority or lead a viable coalition. All right. It also enables the power transition. It signals to the head of state, the governor general or the monarch, that the incumbent prime minister will formally resign, clearing the way for the winning party leader to be invited to form a new government. It also maintains stability. It reinforces the democratic tradition of a peaceful, orderly transfer of power and legitimizes the incoming government. Key characteristics in the Westminster content. All right, so it goes on further. So based on that, I understand why he did what he did as a responsible leader of the opposition. And I'm sure he will raise questions as things proceed. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
For you?
Hey, how are you doing?
I am good. I just want to say, first and foremost, that I have the greatest respect for you. I just love the way you handle matters, and you bring such clarity to things.
Thank you.
One of the things I was concerned about, and I think you kind of helped me to have some clarity on some things, is should they be, what the word is, should they be confirming, for lack of a better word right now, persons in their particular constituency before they finish with all of the recount? Especially where there are some iffy situations. Why are they, for lack of a better word, confirming these persons before this recount is completed? And also, I was watching the election count very close, and I was a bit annoyed. Respectfully, I say this, with the lawyer, when I was watching it from the ZNS part of it, the lawyer for the PLP, in some ways, I felt like he was a little disrespectful because he was like jumping the gun even before they could finish saying everything. He said, we might as well count this one, count that out. Let's just count that, call that a win for us. And Reese would have, jump in and say, no, we can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even with the Owen Wells and Cartwright, there was nothing to say which polling division these numbers was coming from at all. These are very concerning situations.
Yes.
I mean,
I
respectfully to our Prime Minister, I feel as though he should take the bull by the horn and say, listen, these are concerns. Let's not do certain things. If the shoe was on the other feet, he'll feel the same way the present opposition feels. He would have been fighting for his people in the same manner. So I don't feel he should settle for how things are looking, knowing that counts are not completed, and they're going to confirm these persons, these 30
swearing
persons.
in. Yeah. I agree with you. We talked about it earlier. I think it makes the recount seem like a joke.
Yeah.
That's what it does for me. Yeah, but I appreciate you calling, though. Thank you so much.
And I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am.
Too.
Continue listening. Thank you so much. This text says, why don't you and the rest of the talk show hosts, plus C. Allen, Antoine, and Papa, run for parliament? Y'all have the answers for everything. All you do is talk the same sugar honey iced tea over and over. Plus, you got university degree. All talk. That's from Sparky. See, Sparky, I read your message. So don't call today, okay? We finished with you for the day. All right? Thank you so much. All right, let's see who else is texting in today. Awesome show, bro. I agree with you 100%. It seems like the public and leaders are good with the old way of doing things. It's the same old saying. We have been doing this for years, and it doesn't change. It doesn't change. We got to change it. Uncle Uran, hot on Sparky. He pushes my patience just listening to him complain and ramble every time. See, I love Sparky, I just let Sparky run on sometimes. You understand? but Sparky's gonna try run my show. Right? If you gotta wait on the phone line, then you gotta wait on the phone line. It's simple. You understand? Everyone else waiting. This show ain't just for the callers. This the texters calling too, and the host talking. So Sparky, you need to get your own show. Running on with foolishness. Doc, no one gonna answer nothing. No one, especially the winners, care about opinions of the people and what we can do about it. They don't have to publish nothing for at least 5 years. Ah, boy. Well, if we say we ain't got to do nothing, but we could do something. We could educate ourselves. BTC Business advises that some customers may be experiencing issues with mobile calls, data, and fixed internet services. Our teams are working to resolve or to restore services as quickly as possible. We apologize for the inconvenience and thank you for your patience. So there's a PSA from BTC. If you're having issues, they're working on it. This texter says, good afternoon. The concession speech was the responsible thing to do. Yeah, I agree. We just read through what the official meaning of it is. And, Pintard is definitely a responsible leader, so he did the right thing. But some of y'all texting, like, y'all need to call in. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Yeah, what's going on, Uncle?
Hey, my brother. Thanks for calling, man.
Yeah, you need to come in and tell us a story with you and tell it 35 times or so anyway. I did the what did that start? For me, birthday, Monday, and come in and tell it on the 5th of May, and he born.
The 4th of May. You ain't listening to the 4th of May. His birthday is the 4th of May.
Yeah, the 4th.
Yeah, you got to listen. See, guys, listen.
Yeah, all right. Well, I endorse what the lady said just now. I endorse that. And you make me so proud, man. Man, we need you in the opposition.
Why?
We need you in the opposition, and you can all just now, man. See, can't let them believe everyone drinking that yellow Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But I agree with Chihuahua Line and John Pinder, man. The next election in a whole different decade, man. I don't see no police constable walking with no jack in the box and thing when 10 of them on the line walking with these big green box in 2031, man.
Yeah.
The world tell goddamn the world looking at that.
Yes.
That's what the world looking at. That.
Amen.
You're still a fishing military, the world saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And I had a question for God. I thought he said he's going to stay on 15 more minutes.
No,
God said
they had to run.
They don't count the ballots from the advance poll because they don't want to influence the voter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, mother said. Well, what paying off light bill is? What fixing people? What plywood and shingle and felt is? What are giving people vouchers is? What are money all around the ground?
The more vouchers, the better.
More we're paying off people mortgage, assistance with more car payment and all of that. Now, don't get me wrong, Uncle. This might be human people. Yeah. I want them to get something. This is the only time they get something from the MPs around this
I say take from everybody and then vote who you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Only days be calling me stupid against the PLP and FNM. I ain't getting nothing over these last 20 years.
Boy.
But I want nothing. Yeah. I need nothing from them. But let me say this. If all these people around election time need little roof fixing and this assistance, they're 50,000 for.
Yeah.
What that for? Because to keep constituency office open, 150,000 a year.
No.
So that money getting put on their bank account. So if all these people need assistance,
but again,
right.
we don't know. So if they could just publish it, then we'd know.
Yeah.
Just audit it. It's our money.
Right.
So we should know.
Right.
You understand?
It's the taxpayers' money.
And so when people cast aspersions, when people call these politicians out of their name, then I'm not giving people right, but I'm saying to these politicians, if you really care about people not doing that, then make it transparent.
No, but they don't want that. You say it all the time.
Yeah.
They don't want that. They want to have their secret this.
But this our money.
They don't want to know who all the contracts gone
they working for
on
us.
The consulting fees and all that.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know them things. They don't want you to know the deal with Gacy and pipe and all of that. But I go on this one because other people won't get in.
Yeah.
On another thing, what people say ain't changing. Ministers put the money on their bank accounts. The PLP come in and see they ain't changed that. They leave that. That's another thing ain't changing. And we can link up, dog. All right, dog.
Yeah. You know, there's also the issue of voter turnout. Voting is the stomping ground of people who are concerned with contracts or getting contracts so they could live. Let me say that again. voting, people who vote, for the most part, it's my opinion, people who vote, for the most part, voting is the stomping ground of people who depend on contracts to live. It's not about national development. It's about personal development and survival. And if they could keep us in survival mode, then the political machinery will continue to work the way that it works. That's my opinion. And that's why people are slowly phasing out of this whole process of voting. Because you need us to vote. But they understand if they got enough people with the carrot dangling in the front of them, they'll have enough people to stay in power. Because that's all they care about is just staying in power. Let's go back to the text line, and we go back to the phone line. This text says, I heard an interview on the news today with the parliamentary commissioner. Was he at the swearing-in ceremony, or was that somewhere else? Because I would find his presence there extremely distasteful. And before someone say, well, that's the way we always used to do it, I don't care. At some point, someone said the king can't have first night with my virgin wife on our wedding night because it don't make sense. I didn't hear the interview, so I'm not sure exactly whether he was there or not. Master Wonku, I disagree with electronic voting. Electronic voting can be tampered with. Also in Europe, they use clear, see-through ballot boxes for voting. Also, do you like or prefer ranked choice voting? Explain what ranked choice voting is, so I could properly answer your question. That's another thing, see-through boxes. This text says before we can go to biometric, we have to know how many persons come into the country since also independence, and how did they get citizenship to be able to vote in our election. Foreigners should not have our NIB card. This is the single most detriment to our country. Also get rid of these justice of the peace. Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Hello, hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I agree with all your comments. You're making sense.
Thank
right?
you.
And people don't like, I don't know, for some reason, people don't like to hear sense, right? I don't know. I think they like, I'm starting to believe that we like that corrupt system. We have archaic systems that need to be changed, right?
Yeah.
I remember the generation back then where, they used to tell children, children are to be seen, not heard. All of this. Mental slavery. That's what I call it, right?
Yeah.
We're not that generation anymore.
Amen.
And to ask questions is healthy, democratic, and that's the only way you can progress if you want to call it progress, you know? I agree with you. The voting system is archaic, right? And do you know, I don't know if anybody could tell me this. I think I asked a couple of people, and they said, oh, that's how it's always been done. Could I make it right?
Right.
Why do we stick our fingers in the ink,
right,
and on the right thumb, right, with the right thumb that most people are right-handed,
exactly,
I think, and that's the hand you have to X, and you could spoil your ballot because sometimes maybe if they don't wrap it good, the ink could go all over. I mean, what kind of foolishness is that?
Right.
Why not do it on the left? If you can do it, I don't think you should do it at all. I think it should be all digital, because once you put your thumb on the machine and it reads that you voted, if you try to vote again any other place, it'll say, no, you voted already. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't understand it. And I think people mix up fear-mongering with persons wanting accountability and transparency.
Exactly.
Fear-mongering because you ask them questions.
Exactly. And that's and I would call what they're doing gaslighting. Because I agree with you, and I would call what they're doing gaslighting. They're trying to gaslight us into believing that we crazy for asking questions.
Exactly. And this is why, this may be, I suspect, I don't know for sure, why younger person be like, man, we ain't for that foolish system, man. That's, that's so corrupt that you can't even ask questions. You look at people asking questions and they want,
Right.
So, we have a long way to go. And while we on it, right, persons who have to verify, look what they do. They declare assets, right? You should I believe that you should have those kinds of things verified and approved by a certified public accountant.
Yeah.
It is that important.
Yeah.
And I think you should have that on entrance. And when you leave in, you can't come in there with $14,000 declaration and then leave with $2 million. How?
Yeah.
When?
And don't they have to declare every year?
Okay.
Yeah, whenever they have to declare, I agree. An accountant should be.
An accountant and a certified public accountant.
Yes.
Is that important?
Yes, I agree. Otherwise, it's a joke.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
right?
it's a joke.
So I encourage all the young people, ask the question. That's why we send you to school to get sense. And that's the only way systems will change, and they need to be changed. The systems are archaic. Look! Oh, one more thing. Look at a bus flying through the crowd with the people on it could cause accident and kill people. Why in this day and age? Why?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I agree.
Anyway.
I appreciate you calling. Thank you so much. The practice of marking a voter's thumb with electoral ink was introduced to the Bahamian electoral system under the Representation of the People Act in 1969. The mandate was first implemented on a large national scale during the 1972 general election, which was the first general election held after the law's passage. This is from a website, Parliamentary Elections Act, OAS.org, if you want to check it out. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Yeah, good afternoon, Uncle.
Yes, 52.
Well, Uncle, we need more female callers. I love the lady before that and the lady doesn't. I don't know. They were great.
Yeah.
So the thing is, people, I got to watch my words now because some people are offended by what they call big words, but nothing is bigger than the human brains. So the digital panopticon is needed, right? I have been juxtaposing what the lady said, right?
Yeah.
In this day of technological advancement. But enough respect to how you deal with Mr. Kyle Dean. You didn't pull a scene, but for me, I just want Mr. Dean to know he's the smartest person in the room, but I can still use my broom, right? And see something. I agree with some of the things he said, the little frivolous things like people putting the O instead of an X and all those things. I agree with some things he was saying, right? But I had to agree with you because when we look at how the level of his technology that we arrived at today, to see this antiquated system still going on. But for me, if you don't have freedom of the information and you don't, what we need is an AI camera in the boxes anyhow to just go along with the other digital surveillance that is needed. But for me, he insulted me when everybody insults me when they say there's no evidence because, I'm a science-based minded person.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, I didn't have evidence of what I was saying, but I was correct, right, Uncle? You think I was saying the vaccines couldn't work because I wanted to say that?
No.
And some people still today would say they work, but he has with it. The father of forensics. Not because you don't find any evidence doesn't mean there's not any evidence. Uncle.
Correct.
So, I mean, and some of the things that we have went through, even with it relates to Dr. Minnis, with his administration, if he had admitted that outdoor transmission dynamics is basically negligible, more people would have come up to vote. But he was really fair-mongering. And so I like him up. Give thanks.
Yes,
what is
indeed.
more influential, giving out dog food and rum until the time comes for people to vote? I'm 61, Uncle. I've never seen such foolishness to the polls in all my life, Uncle.
Wow.
Giving out things because they know the people are part. You said it all. Come on, man, Uncle. I may call back after the hour.
Yeah, man.
I'm still sour. Give thanks.
Yeah, we got to go to the news. We got to pay some bills here on Talking Heads. And, Uncle Sarah sitting in for Naughty and MJ. Where's the transparency? Where is the transparency? Let's keep it locked here on 96.9. Guardian Radio, fresh news, smart talk all day. Back after this.
Cause a brand that the fans trust. So even if they ban us, they'll never slow my plans up. The show goes on all night till the morning we dream. So anybody ever wonder when they will see us?
KFC has a bold new flavor you'll love. Introducing the all-new Barbecue Rap Star. We're talking a juicy chicken breast filet, fried to golden crisp perfection, covered in sweet and smoky barbecue sauce, topped with cheese, then wrapped in a delicious toasted tortilla with flavor in every bite. Go spicy or keep it original. Either way, it's a star for a reason. The new Barbecue Rap Star is the star of the menu at KFC Nassau. Get yours today at any KFC Nassau location.
Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then fine threads is your place. If you want to look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, want to step out and look great, fine threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place, is your place, is your place.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. Juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Turn a trip to Burger King Nassau into a galactic adventure with the Mondo and Grogu Whopper Combo, featuring special shake fries. Whether you're a bounty hunter in training or just here for your way, Burger King Nassau has everything Mandalorian and Grogu related you could want. Grab the toys, the mugs, the crowns, and your crew, and head on down to BK and celebrate the Mandalorian and Grogu adventure with Burger King Nassau. This is the way.
You're listening to Talking Heads only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
And we're back here on Talking Heads. I'm your host today, Kahunanku Sarao, also known as Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, sitting in for Naughty and MJ. This texter says, good day, enjoying the show. Sparky should be banned permanently. He's too old to be so disgusting. Sparky, that's what the people say. I ain't gonna ban you, though. But I just letting you know what the people say. You understand what I'm saying? Let's continue on. Sparky, these people on your case. Sparky ain't had no brown boy today, man. Good afternoon. The concession speech was the responsible thing to do. Okay, we talked about that. Uncle, you're right. Okay. They on your case, Sparky. This is why I don't like these large governments and small opposition. WHO is supposed to, or who is supposed to keep the government feet to the fire? Exactly. Good afternoon, Uncle. And Bahamas. A great concern that I am looking at futuristically for the Bahamas is that a nation of other people is now going to be determining heavily who is going to be the government of the Bahamas from here on in. And that's based on the understanding of who has their best interests at heart. Yeah, this whole idea with these voting cards being in non-Bahamian hands, that's an issue that have to be addressed. Hello, Mr. Eneas, we have to demand that we see the official results. It seems like the rules only apply to others and not this government. The recount need to be done thoroughly. It was just too much fraudulent documents in the process, and this government cannot be trusted. I also had another person reach out to me on the break and say, we should do the recount the same night. If we could stay up all night for Junkanoo, why we can't stay up all night for election? Why you can't do the recount the same night? Count it and count it again. Just a thought. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Yeah, how you doing, Uncle?
Hey, my brother.
All right, I just want to touch base on just one or two things that I need to bring to the attention of apparently some of you folks may not know.
Right.
I would say every major English-speaking country in the world uses a ballot system. Let me explain to you what I mean by that. Those that even have a digital imprint where persons can go in a digital screen, they always have a backup ballot system where there are charts. Do you remember a few years back? You may be too young to remember this, but they had a big issue with a U.S. election.
Oh, I remember the hanging chart.
You remember the hanging chart?
Yeah, I ain't that young.
that still exists today. They still use that as a backup network. And those boxes, the sheriff departments do the same thing we do here in the Bahamas. They have committees that do the same thing that the parliamentary system does here. This is not something only. I don't want people to believe that this is archaic only, or this is whatever they want to.
But listen to what you said though. It is a hybrid system, correct?
Yeah, It is.
So
it is,
the ballot
yeah.
the ballot can verify the digital count.
Right, that's correct.
And
But
the
it has to.
Okay.
But remember now, we were talking about the transporting, the relocating.
Yeah,
and
because you only have the ballot boxes, but
Yeah, I
if
understand,
but if
I
we had a
understand.
digital component
Yeah.
along with the ballot. See,
Yeah,
I like
I'm
the way
agreeing
that
with you,
sounds.
you know.
I like the way
I'm
that
not
sounds.
disagreeing
No,
with
no,
you.
I know. I just saying what I like about
Yeah,
it.
but I just want people to know, because a lot of people think, and based on some of the calls I hear you being coming in,
Yeah.
they think that we're the only one that uses such a system in the world, because I want them to understand that if we're archaic, then the United States is archaic, Canada is archaic, the UK is archaic, and many other common nations are archaic, because they use that no matter what system they have, they use that as a proof structure,
So
and it is transported.
Our first
by
system is their
officials.
backup system. Our first and only system is their backup system.
Yeah. But
That's what
but they
makes
have
us
to get to
archaic.
that point, and I agree with
Yeah.
you. I'm not saying, like I said, I don't disagree
Yeah.
with you, but they still use it not only as a backup system, but they use it as a system. At the end of the day, the digital, they don't have that much confidence in the digital aspect, because if they had as much confidence in the digital aspect, then they would not use it as a backup format as well.
I agree. I
Okay,
think
one more
both.
thing.
I think. Let me just say this. I think having both system, it kind of tethers the
yeah,
results.
I'm in agreement
Yeah,
with you, but
yeah.
I don't want people to believe that we're in some cave in the backyard and we you understand me? But one other thing I really want to bring to your attention is this. As far as the current administration, and you see, I don't know if you heard the Prime Minister's speech as well, but one of the things I found very, very telling is that, you know, we can, I'm only, this is only my opinion. I think one of the biggest deficits for the opposition, and one of the key things that, because obviously Bahamians don't care as much or don't think it's as important as they think it is, and don't really buy that message that, oh, there is a multitude of voters card and this and that, because obviously if that was the case, then the results would not would reflect that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest problems of the opposition is that they totally alienated a third of the voting population in this country. And if you know who the third I'm talking about, right? The Haitian, I didn't even call them the Haitian Bahamian, because if they're born here, they're Bahamian.
Yeah.
But that community, you alienated them, and the COI alienated a whole third of the population.
Wasn't the cry illegal immigration? They weren't necessarily saying if you're Haitian, but illegally.
Bro, who immigration that we talking about? We ain't talking about one race.
What I'm saying is, and I agree with you, not only Haitians are here illegal. That's the first thing.
And I agree with you. and somebody said, oh, they saw the Prime Minister just before the election going down into Marsh Harbor and going to the Haitian church. The F&Ms were there too.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
See how one thing really give one side of view of something, but
all them campaigning.
All of them being in the Haitian church talking. Just that the Haitians say by what they were talking about.
Right. Right. Yeah. Now, I appreciate your call, man, and I like the idea that you introduced to this conversation about the fact that there's a digitization tethered to the ballot. I like that. I think if you have a system where, as you're writing on the ballot, you're also making an impression digitally, so that you have a digital count and you have a ballot count, and they can tether each other. I think we're onto something. I mean, some can tell me, no, that can't work because X, Y, and Z. But I think if someone hacks into the digital system, we got the ballots. If someone is interfering with the ballots, we got the digital numbers. That at least gets us closer. I can hear C. Allen now. Let's go to the text line. Let's see what people are saying. Good day, good brother Aeneas. The Bahamas is at a serious crossroad, and we want to know what's the full story about the plane crash with the Bahamians on board. I didn't hear about that. We want our country back to secure our future development. We need help from the United States to protect our heritage from the mayor of Grand Bahama. Okay. I don't know about the plane crash. I pray, wow, if that is the case, that wow, people didn't die. I don't know anything about it. Dr. Aeneas, I vote for you and Aaron in the Senate. Y'all real. Who put the pepper in the Vaseline? Boy. Uncle. Lord, y'all is tax long. Uncle, I have one question that I'd like to hear your honest response. What if you had a family dispute with your son? We'll call him John. And the family agreed that the dispute would be settled by majority vote. And on 2 occasions, the majority family vote went against John and against the terms of the family agreement and the results of the 2 votes. John told you that unless he got his way, he was going to exit the family and tell everyone how y'all as parents were abusive parents and treated him not as he felt, and he should have been treated and give him what he wanted. John was going to do whatever it took to burn down the family home unless he got what he wanted. When faced with such an extortion, what would you do? Now, Dexter, I trying to make a good sense of what you're saying. You're saying that ultimately the allegations or the concerns are somebody's attempt to extort the government, or they're trying to make up a story. I just want to be clear about what you're saying. But I like what you where you're going with it. But I just want to make sure you be saying I seen what you're trying to show me. Uncle, I agree with the lady who spoke about the ink on the same finger. We have to mark the ballot with. I asked why when voting, and could not say why. If it must be done, do it on the hand that you do not write with. I think that's only fair. But again, there must be a reason. I'm going to go back and read that act that I talked about to see what it says, why it's the right hand. Yes, we need clarity because how many votes are in the advanced polling box and what polling division are they combined with? Why we don't know that for every constituency side. Smart caller just now, the female. Sounds like my deputy leader. Okay. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, you're live.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
How you doing?
Right there, man. Listen.
Yeah.
That gentleman who called just now was Haitian Bahamian. In my book, he no Haitian Bahamian. He is Haitian or he's a Bahamian. We need to cut this baloney out.
I think he said that though.
He said your pa's Haitian.
He said
where you born is Haitian.
He said
how come you could?
He said if they born here, they Bahamian.
Hello.
He said if they born here, they Bahamian.
Yeah, no. You born here? Let's say my pa from Andres, my mother from Exuma, I'm a Bahamian.
Right.
But if my pa's Haitian, my mother's from Haiti, born here, that's why we have this big problem here now. Because don't care they born here, they can look up for the Haitian. I want you to think that out, because the immigrant always on the side with the immigrant because they is Haitian. And that's a problem.
Let me ask you this, caller.
Hello?
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Bahamians and Haitians been integrating now for many, many years.
Yeah,
it's very difficult. It's very difficult at this point. If I say all Haitians go to one side of the room and all Bahamians go to the next side, that's a very difficult thing to do at this point.
Yeah, because we're
very integrated.
The slackness with immigration over the years, and I go way back when they put Maycog there and Rogue was in, this one have been happening.
Yeah, I agree.
You notice the Haitian comes, he's Bahamian. You put Haitian up to immigration talking nonsense, but he's consultant. What you think he could do? He could look up for the Haitian them. He'll never see they do no wrong.
Yeah, but see, I ain't disagreeing with you, right? But these Bahamian women don't have no germ, man.
Don't worry about that.
What we can do with that?
Listen to me. We've been a small nation from you know yourself. We was the smallest in the Caribbean. You think you ever thought about that?
Say it again.
So
If what?
They ain't tell us to let these people come and show you. In the Bible, you have something like that happen where the people come on number the other side and throw them away. Haiti can't get their country right. And some I know myself. But they will come and colonize us. They come here and bully us. You check it out. If you're the Haitian, you're the Haitian. Your man pass Haitian, you're Haitian. It's nonsense, but Haitian Bahamian.
I appreciate the call, man. The problem with this conversation that I keep bringing to y'all is we don't want to be mad at racism, white supremacy. We don't want to be mad at France. We don't want to be mad at what America and Canada has done in Haiti to even create the environment that makes them want to leave, right? We want to put all the blame on the Haitians as if the Haitians are solely responsible for the environment that they're in. I am not advocating illegal immigration, but I also am saying that if the birth rate is under 2, right? Bahamian women are having less than 2 children, which means we are below replacement rates. We got to figure out what we can do. That's all I'm saying. I'm not suggesting that illegal immigration replace Bahamians. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what we can do. I done had a couple shows on it. I'm bringing it up right now, but I'll leave it there. This text says, before we can go to biometric, we have to know how many. All right, we looked at that already. The text line is very hot today. I asked the lady if I can dip my left finger in the ink because I am right-handed. The woman say it have to be the right hand. But she just is probably doing her job. So that's why I say we got to read what the law says. If these people can't even follow instructions and mark a simple X, do you think we can use electronic voting? I think we can. I do think we can. Let's see here. This texter says, what if we had... All right, so they asked about the plane crash. What if we had a plane crash when they was bringing the boxes, was what this texter originally said. And then they say the ink that they use in North Andros polling division number 12 was clear as water. Wow. After I wiped my thumb, I asked the lady if I should put it back in the ink. Clean thumb. I sent my daughter a picture of my thumb. She asked me why I didn't vote. Wow. What's up with y'all, Lincoln Andros? Anyway, we need local government in New Providence. I agree. This texter says, the science of politics doesn't say vote for what is right, but what is appealing. Bahamians like free things, so let them bite iron and catch hell. Let's go back to the call. Let's call you live.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. The way to solve all that is to let people come in, leave in the box, leave when you leave in the office.
Right.
So you wouldn't get ink anywhere. So just vote and then you mark your X and then you
ink.
Upon leaving you mark your finger.
Yeah. I don't know why they do it like when you're entering. I don't know what the science behind that is.
Yeah. It's like goodness, what are you trying to do? Test if you're capable?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a good point. I think that makes sense, but I gotta read through what they know to understand better why they asking us to put on the right hand. And before we vote.
But it can go on either hand once it's
I agree. But that's a good suggestion. I agree with that.
All right.
Thank you, man. Caller, you live. Caller going once?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? Hey.
Yeah, I had to call back just for a quick second.
Yeah.
Your last caller. The question I'd like to ask him, right, is if my father...
Not the last caller, the caller before last, with the Haitian?
No, just not there, the one before last.
Yeah.
If my father is a Greek and my mother is a Greek, and I happen to be in the Bahamas, and we move back to Greece, and I, at the age of 18, decide that I want to go back to my roots, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to the Bahamas, right?
Mm-hmm.
What, in his mind, or anyone else's mind, what would I be called, or what would I be?
You'd be a Bahamian.
Okay. So I'm trying to understand. You know, we sound so ignorant when we talking nonsense. Bahamian, Bahamian. If part of my family's from Colombia, and I decide I want to come back here, or I want to be a Bahamian and get my citizenship, I'm a Bahamian.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Yeah.
We got to stop this dumb talk. And what we don't understand is that this is one of the main reasons why people weren't buying the message about this election to do stuff is not because I'm foolish to not believe that there are some illegal documents out there, but it was mainly creating is more hype than a lot of other things because, Jesus, let's think about this now. Think about this. Throughout the whole election, which was one of the major issues, did in all of the votes that came through, almost, I think it was almost 100,000 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Did they find any illegal voters card?
But that's so what the concern was is that you cannot look at a voter's card and say it's an illegal voter. It's the same voter's card. There are no real distinguishing marks.
Out of 100,000 some votes, I mean almost close to 100,000 votes, did they arrest anybody? Did they come across any false passports?
But
anything like that yet?
So this is why we're having this conversation because we just don't know.
Well, I could tell you if they did, with all three parties in observation and checking everything, that should tell us something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It should tell those who were fear-mongering and saying certain things that it isn't at the level that we may think it is. And it had nothing to do with the government. It had nothing to do with the PRD, but it had to do parliamentary department.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with whether that message, the complete message, was and it obviously the people didn't buy it.
Right.
Obviously they didn't buy it, and I think that was one of the major issues that people. Yeah,
you're saying it didn't resonate with people like they wanted it to.
Not at all.
I hear what you're saying.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Because if that was resonating,
people
would come out in droves and vote.
Yeah. So the biggest issue for me is the voter's card is a byproduct of passports being given out. Because you can't get a voter's card without a passport.
That's
so
right.
by the time you get down the road to voter's cards, it's really little you could do unless the person just cannot speak English or whatever the case may be.
And that's what I'm saying now, bro. You ain't hear nothing from the FNM talking about illegal passports being seen.
Well, before the election we did. Before the election we did.
Yeah, I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you had, again, almost 100,000 people come out and vote.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't hear nothing but that after the fact, right?
Yeah, but I don't even know how much people voted. I heard 117,000. Someone was saying 64,000. But I understand what you're saying. I appreciate the call.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well,
all right, bro.
Thank you so much. And so that's why this conversation is so important, because there's a lot of hearsay, right? There are not proper systems in place to say, okay, how many protest ballots were used? I mean, at this stage, they may tell us later, but we should know that now. I know when I was voting, someone in the front of me had to use a protest ballot because the number on their voter's card was not the same number that the parliamentary registrar had. They were two different numbers. So the lawyers convene and they say, nope, you gotta vote on a protest ballot. So it was happening. But how many? So we don't know. You understand what I'm saying? We don't know. And so when you don't know, you're kind of left out in left field somewhere. And while you're in left field, there's a swearing in ceremony going on. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, what are we doing? Let's go to the text line. Let me just, the text line is hot today. Let's see. Good afternoon, sir. I stand firmly behind every word you said. You are speaking the honest truth, and many people feel the same way. Our country cannot continue down this path. We must get serious about rebuilding, restoring accountability, and creating meaningful change for the betterment of all Bahamians. Enough is enough. We have to stop accepting the foolishness, confusion, and lack of responsibility that continue to hold us back. Winning an election does not automatically mean a government is transparent, honest, or acting in the best interest of the people. True leadership requires accountability, openness, and the willingness to answer hard questions from the public. When leaders avoid questions or refuse to address the real concerns of the people, it speaks volumes. The reality is that the average person in this country is struggling, and everyone can see that things are not working the way they should. Our eyes are open now. People are paying attention. People are thinking for themselves, and people want better for this country. End of story. Thank you very, very much, Texter. We've got to run to a break here on Talking Heads. Make sure you keep it locked here to 96.9 Guardian Radio. Fresh news, smart talk all day. Back after this.
That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to pay me. Go on and put your hands up, when times is hard, you stand up. LUP the man, cause a brand that the fans trust. So even if they ban us, they'll never slow my plans up. I'm ready to show.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape. A Carib Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
KFC has a bold new flavor you'll love. Introducing the all-new Barbecue Rap Star. We're talking a juicy chicken breast filet, fried to golden crisp perfection, covered in sweet and smoky barbecue sauce, topped with cheese, then wrapped in a delicious toasted tortilla with flavor in every bite. Go spicy or keep it original. Either way, it's a star for a reason. The new Barbecue Rap Star is the star of the menu at KFC Nassau. Get yours today at any KFC Nassau location.
You're listening to Talking Heads only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me.
And we're back here on Talking Heads with yours truly, Kahunanku Sarah, Dr. Cleveland W. Indians III, sitting in for Naughty and MJ. This texter says, Uncle Sparky attacked 52 during the pandemic. He attacks everyone. It's like he even jealous of knowledge and sharing it. Being knowledgeable doesn't equate to wanting to be in politics. Stop being jealous of people's brains, bro. Opine and criticize with facts as it relates to callers. Sparky, they love you. They love you in the in the text. If Citizen is free to vote PLP, then DNA, an FNM, or COI, that is a different party every 5 years, even a naturalized Bahamian. Every Bahamian has the same rights and freedoms. Amen. This text says, good afternoon, the concessions. This caller is a joker. Miss Fani was not the only person on the register with 2 voters cards with 2 different numbers. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's over my head. Sorry about that. Above my pay grade. All right. The people did not vote for country. They vote for party. They did not care about the consequences going forward. Let me repeat what I said. Voting has become the stomping ground of people who depend on contracts to live. I ain't saying that's the only people who vote, but that's the people who tell you it's your right to vote, and if you don't vote, you ain't got no voice, and you gotta vote, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Contract. Good afternoon. Not only Haitians are here legally, but the other groups assimilate. They don't do what the majority of Haitians do. Anyway, I feel like this election had the most irregularities than I can ever recall. We need a proper resolution. The FNM leader needs to join the call for a resolution at the very least. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, you live. Caller, going what?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I was listening to you all talking about this story about Haitian.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't think no such thing as Haitian behavior. If you come here illegally,
You're Haitian.
how you children and expect to be a Bahamian, the parents society, your ma and your pa society, come here illegally. Supposed to send all of them back.
I agree.
You understand what I'm saying? Because the system is too slack.
Yeah.
We ain't supposed to have no hyphen Bahamian. It's a Bahamian. Now you come here and you have a child with a Bahamian. Now I just see the difference like that. But they come here to help train because they can get through the system so easy, man.
Well, we letting them do it. Let's have an honest conversation. Bahamians are allowing it to happen.
Yeah, we running a slack country,
Yeah,
man.
we doing it. Yeah, so we, as much as we could blame the Haitians, Bahamians are allowing it to happen.
Yeah, they ain't supposed to do that, man. They come here for that because they don't know and they tell everybody how to do it. So what we expect to get?
Yeah, and then we ain't having no churn.
No, because the problem is the humans ain't having train like that because that's hard. You know, like you see.
It ain't hard for the Haitians. They popping them
No,
out.
because they running under the system. They ain't paying nothing.
So why we can't do the same thing? Why we don't do the same thing?
Then we can get locked up.
How we can get locked up? This is our country.
Yeah, but the point about it is that they can put the pressure on the Bahamian. They ain't worried about Haitian.
Yeah.
They can get away with that. But we can't get away with it.
I appreciate you calling, brother. Respect, dude. The text line is hot today. The plane crash had 11 people on it. They were all rescued, only 3 injured. It was on the news. Okay, amen. So everybody survived. And I'm sorry they had a plane crash, but I'm happy that nobody died. These PLP callers in Texas are... Why y'all don't cost me cuss on the radio, man? I mean, y'all spelling out cuss words. Wait, that was on y'all spelling list, hey. Bahamians do not breed under economic captivity. When we map out a better economic future for all Bahamians, then we can increase the population. Well, while you're waiting for that, there's people coming here outbreeding us. So we waiting for the economic situation to be better. By the time as you get that reality in place, you may be speaking another language. Just saying. Dr. Aeneas, for years I have been telling COI followers that the COI should have been a lobby group instead of a political group. They would have been able to offset Luby and the Haitian Bahamian lobby group that supported the PLP. But now the COI is fighting against the FNM while Luby them are joining the PLP to win elections. I got to get you on the show, Luby. I got to get you on the show. Luby's my boy, you know. Luby's my boy, but you're raising some points that I think he should address as well. Hey, Uncle, we as a people seem to have forgotten this is the same government who dismissed the freedom of information. And all the rest of them too. Ain't just this government. We as a people seem to have forgotten that this is the same government who dismissed the freedom of information. The hospitals a mess. The roads just got paved days before election. The voters forgot all of those issues and got caught up in the rally foolishness. Just sad. The government should give a good incentive to Bahamian women to assist with expenses for reproduction and child care. Well, you better do something because everyone else popping them out. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good evening. Thanks for calling, man.
Yeah, man, no problem. I typically don't listen to talk shows and stuff as much anymore because typically you have the same PLP, staunch PLP supporters or staunch FNM supporters.
Yeah.
The same handful of people spewing the same talking points about how great their political party is, and typically is because they're singing for their supper.
Right.
I was in this election that just passed. I was trying to encourage my daughter to vote for the first time, and she said she had no interest, and I was trying to impart to her.
Wow.
Listen, a lot of people, our ancestors did what they had to do to give you the ability to vote. Think for myself, think critically, do research, use AI, and what I see so far is just the same status quo. I said, what do you mean by that? I said, Daddy, you've been voting all your life, and you say, look around you, it's just friends, family, and lovers. One party goes in, they get their cronies, contracts, and then the next 5 years, the other party come in, and if you just listen to these talks, the people calling in, the hardcore PLPs, who are pretty much if you're not, I'll sum it up like this: if you're not connected to power or connected to the political class, but if you're just an ordinary Bahamian and you don't have no connections and you don't know nobody, living in the Bahamas is drastically different from those who are connected to the political power, be it women, be it these cronies who call it these radio stations. And lastly, just listening to at least this election and this current administration, they seemingly, I wouldn't say bio the media. It seems like they had most of the media on their side. You had some objective media personnel, but it seems that
you mean the people who the talk show hosts and stuff. That's what you mean?
Right. They gave them softball questions, and they didn't do any. It seems like they didn't do no research. Like my last thing is, it's almost like we have revisionist history. Like we don't know, like we don't see what's happening on the ground. We don't see like the corruption that's happening. We don't see that the vouchers getting given. And it's almost like we don't see it. Like, and then we get on these talk shows and be intellectually dishonest with the. It's almost like, and my last. See, I'm so frustrated.
No, I feel you. Take your time. Take your time.
I see why my daughter, and I couldn't say that to her no more when she started to spew her reasons why, Daddy, I'm not. What am I voting for? My thing is, you and Mommy are spending your money to send me to college. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to go to the United States, and my job is to take care of you guys when you get there.
I ain't coming
back.
I'm
not working in this country, and I'm trying to diffuse her. I'm trying to, tell her, say, don't think like that. Come back home to your country because she is school and university now. But me, as the person who live here, I could just listen to your callers calling in, spewing the same talking points that were being decades ago, and immigration is not going to change who our person. You know what?
I appreciate you, man. I feel your frustration, brother. I do feel your frustration. I think what's important for us to say to the generation. My son voted for the first time, and quite honestly, he's not necessarily pegged into all of the issues. But I say, yeah, that's your right, bro. Vote. And I told him, I said, you could vote, or you could spoil your ballot, but make sure you're a part of the process. I didn't tell him who to vote for. I didn't tell him none of that. I said, this is something you have a right to. So make sure that you're a part of it, because we have to ultimately be a part of the process. This text says, Uncle, you saying Bahamian woman won't have no children? I know 5 Bahamian women pregnant right now. Text, let me tell you what I'm saying. All right, the 1950s to the 1960s, these are the post-war baby boom. We were at, the family fertility rate peaked at an all-time of 5.16 births per woman. So let's say 5 children per woman. In the 1970s, it dropped to 3.3 births per woman. Let's say 3 children. 1980s to 1990s, it dropped to 2 children, 2.1. 2000s to 2010, it dropped to 1.5. 2020s, it's down to 1.36. We saw enough women giving birth to 1 foot and 1 arm because they ain't giving birth to 1 baby. I'm joking. But the point I'm making is it's consistently dropping. And Dexter, you sure they Bahamian? Because you got plenty Bahamian, Asian Bahamian who you don't know. Let me stop. I hear you, Dexter. Let's see what this text is saying here. To answer your question regarding ranked choice voting, okay, which is used in many European countries, it allows someone like Uncle, using me hypothetically, a Marxist/socialist with conversational, non-mainstream religious views, can be elected over a mainstream political candidate from a mainstream political party. Ranked choice voting, or RCV, is an election method in which voters rank candidates for an office of their preference: first choice, second choice, third choice, and so on. Ranking candidates is different from simply electing one candidate, or what is known as plurality voting. If a candidate receives more than half of the first choices, that candidate wins, just like in any other election. However, if there is no majority winner after counting the first choices, the race is by an instant runoff. The candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated, and voters who ranked that candidate as their first choice will have their votes counted for the next choice. This process continues until a majority winner, a candidate with more than half of the vote, wins. Okay. You learn something new every day. I guess you would have still been voting. This texter says, if you're born here to foreign illegal parents, don't make you Bahamian. All right. This next texter says, wow. Let me go to the phone lines first. It wasn't long. Call your life.
Hey, Uncle, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
My brother, very interesting conversation you're having today.
Yes, sir.
And I sat here deliberately meant not to call. Just wanted to hear the views of many of the callers that came in, especially the ones that is apparently staunch party, apologists and everything.
Yeah.
Let me put it to you like this, Uncle.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, we had, according to the PRD, there was an estimated of 200,000 potential voters for the past election.
Over 200,000.
And out of that, and due to that number, the estimate was only 100,000 plus. So the question is, persons are asking, well, what happened? Why wasn't there no protest votes or anything like this? Let me try to paint this picture.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, a few days prior to the election, and this is all third party information.
Mm-hmm.
I was made to understand by a reliable source.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the notice went out to those who hold in these fraudulent documents and stuff. Do not vote. Do not come to the polls.
Oh, wow.
Because the persons who are going to really be scrutinizing is coming out full force, not just the political, the persons who are posters.
Mm-hmm.
But also the police was going to be there. There was a threat about immigration may have been there, whatever. And therefore, you cannot dismiss out of that equation that persons who were intending to come and vote in the election was not intending to come and vote.
Okay.
So you can't take that off the table.
Right.
Now, I can also tell you, a lot of the young people who now I'm listening to, even up to the day, I've been listening to a lot of the young people. Many of them have not voted. They said to me, sir, guess what? We are not voting because it does not make an ounce of sense for us to vote because nothing is going to change. Okay? We also have some of our parents telling us to go and vote, but we told them we are not voting because we see the misery index and we see what they have to go through and nothing is changing. Okay? So all of these variables are part of the equation of why a lot of persons may not have voted. Now, to the current administration, congratulations to them for a second term. Congratulations to the PLP party winning this election. Now, let's see what they're going to do with the low-hanging fruit to try and help the Bahamian populace, who is especially at minimum wage, to try and increase their wages so they can increase or have a better way of life in this next 5 years. Let's see, we're going to put the proof to the test, okay? The low-hanging fruits. You should be able to attach them now. You've been in for 5 years already. This is the next 5 years. Let's see what you're going to do in the next year, the next 2 years. Not the next 4 years, and then you drum up everything.
Yeah.
The next year, within the next year to 2 years, we want to see what you're going to do. My last point here before I go, okay? The current administration is the administration for all Bahamians, regardless of whether you voted for them or not. I heard some people called in this morning talking about removing those persons who are suspected to be in some of these ministries and stuff, who may be sabotaging the current administration's goal for effective governance. I beg to differ. The struggle that we have been through over the past 5 years and the minimum wage that we are still suffering under, you really think right-thinking Bahamians are considering sabotaging the system when they want better for their lives? Come on, man. We got to think better than. And in fact, let me put a little twist to it before I go here. In fact, consider some of your own people inside the place sabotaging the program and blaming the opposition force. The things we have to think about. I believe that we as Bahamians need to move this country progressively forward, upward and onward, and stop this divisiveness about, oh, well, this is our time to eat. You all had your time 10 years ago. We can eat now and y'all ain't to eat.
Wow.
That nonsense must stop. Thanks for taking my call, Uncle.
Yes, indeed. The nonsense been going on for a little while now. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call your life.
Yes, I'm on.
Yeah, you on, bro.
Oh, yeah, good day, Dr. Ennis. How you doing, sir?
I'm great, man, but how you doing?
All right. I'm all right. I just listened to Jeff just now, and I mean, I don't know if Jeff, I have your number, but Jeff, if you still listen to the Uncle number, and if you're tired of talking, and if you're ready to take the country in the direction you're talking about, Jeff, hit Uncle up, right? Because like I told you, Jeff, I don't know if you listened because I included your name in that challenge, Jeff. All right, I said we could have an industry, you know what I mean? If you care about accountability and the wastage of money and all these different things, Jeff, hit Anku up. And let Anku send you the video, Jeff, if you're tired of talking. If you're ready to make a change, because I don't know what you expect to change over the next 5 years when you just finish ending up your statement about you hope the government do this and you hope the government do that. This is the same until just come out, Jeff. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, but I expect the same thing that happened last time and the last time and the last time and the last time and the last time, Jeff. So like I say, if you're tired of talking, Jeff, if you really tired of talking, hit Anku up. But Anku,
hey.
I agree with what you was talking about earlier about how we could solve this confusion with the voting process, because it's absolutely ridiculous that we can't organize a system of voting that's fair and everyone feels as if it's honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of it's absolutely ridiculous. But for me, what's scary though is how people are voting. You understand? Because I heard a gentleman call. Talk to this morning. I can't remember which one it was, and he said the only reason why he voted for the COI was because he didn't want the PLP to win. You understand? And see,
he might have cost him, man. I say he might have cost him, man.
That's some crazy stuff, brother. Think about that. That's some crazy stuff,
Yeah, because
that's absolutely ridiculous, man. I mean, I'm trying to say like that's only one reason, but
yeah.
See, I heard someone from the COI was saying that the people are finally waking up. It's not about them waking up, Anku. It's about them being so fed up.
Yeah.
You understand that they just don't want to deal with them other set no more. So you know something, they say, like, yeah, we can give them other set a chance, man. We just don't care how worse they could be than them set. So it's not about them making this change based on, you understand, it's about desperation and grasping for straws type thing. When we don't, then we shouldn't even be in this position, because we are the ones who's supposed to be able to tell the bus driver where to carry this bus. We shouldn't be riding on the bus complaining about where this bus driver carrying us.
I got you.
Do you understand the knowledge I'm bringing to you? Huh?
Yeah, I listen.
Yeah, so we supposed to be the people with the power. It's us who needs to change our attitude toward the people who we put in power, who's supposed to have our best interests at heart. You understand? Because the most we pay attention to politicians, and who, in my opinion, is when they either leave in the house or when they go in like voting time and different things. Other than that, you know what I mean? Like, we don't pay attention to what they're doing when they're in there. You know what I mean? We analyze and we scrutinize the wrong part of politics. You understand? We major in the minor and we minor in the major. You know what I mean? We major in the drama.
Yeah.
We major in the characters of these individuals who run in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We major in the drama that they have between themselves. We don't major in the policy. We don't major on what these people bring in. We don't, you know what I mean? We don't major on these things.
Yeah.
We major on the minor.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from, brother?
Yeah.
We as a people need to grow up.
A couple more callers, so we'll get to them too. So I understand what you're saying.
But like I said, brother, I mean, you threw more of this now. But
sorry.
But like I said now, but we have a chance to take the country in a new direction with something. You know what I mean? So, Jeff, I expect you, Jeff, to stop talking. And let's get a move on things. Thank you very much.
Yes, brother. Thank you so much. Caller, you're live here on Talking Heads.
Hey, good afternoon. I'll make this quick. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Listen, it's a blessing to hear your son voted.
Yeah, man.
But definitely, listen, I one of them who have no 1 point something. My wife, I have three plus.
Okay,
so,
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Praise God.
Yeah.
So, listen, we get our heart ache, right? Because most of us really pushing for a country for all other citizens, right? We pretty okay. We doing good. We industrious.
Yeah.
A lot of our brothers and sisters, they ain't doing that. We fighting for them and their children, but they ain't fighting for it. So at some point, they get and say, listen, as Joshua said, choose you to stay home, you will
That's
serve.
right.
As for me and my house,
That's
I
right.
can serve the Lord.
Yeah.
So if you all want to keep going after the same thing, at some point we have to get off this Ferris wheel and just continue because we're working for them, we're pushing for them, arguing for them, but they ain't really arguing for themselves. So be okay. And then lastly, let's say I would trade the Haitian brothers, I'll trade plenty Bahamians for my couple of Haitian brothers. Now, I know we need to deal with immigration, but give me a couple of Haitian women and men who are godly, who are industrious, hard-working, honest. I'll trade them over a lot of our Bahamians who want to just hang around clubs, who want to just play games all day, who have no fear of God, who self-centered. And I land on that. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. And I understand what that call is talking about. That's a whole show. Let me get this next caller. Call you live.
Hey, I just going to finish up real quick.
Yeah.
I just have to laugh at your calling before last. I think this name is Mr. Doncom or Jeff or whoever they call him. I was wondering if when he was going to come off the toilet because I know he barely break down. And the whole idea about it is he always talking this low hanging fruit. Listen, let me tell you something. Go and keep with that rhetoric up and see how far that can take you in your party. That's why you're in the problem. That's why you're in the problems you're in right now. Focus, move forward, and try to figure out what didn't work. Stop with this old rhetoric. Obviously, that didn't work. Move forward. All right, and get it together, man. Let's stop that rhetoric because ain't nobody buy it. When you can realize ain't nobody buy it or bought it or into that. Talk about the issues that people are concerned about right now.
Yeah,
that's old. That's like old school. All right, I was wondering when I thought something happened to him.
Appreciate your call, bro. Yeah, man. We got a lot of things that ultimately we as Bahamians have the responsibility of addressing. If we continue to hide behind, I have a contract, or hide behind, party rhetoric, we're gonna lose the sanctity that has been established in this country. I understand what that caller meant when he said he trade some of your Bahamians, because I feel him on that. Because we've been corrupted by systems that don't serve us. You understand? Ultimately, we all came to this country or came to this part of the world, not as Haitians, not as Bahamians, not as Bajans, not as Jamaicans. We were African. And so that is another aspect of the conversation that we have to stop running from. We have to also stop running from the fact that we are still being influenced by systems of racism, white supremacy. And until you stop being afraid to have that conversation, we'll keep wallowing in the echo chamber of illegal immigration and the muddy politics that we just experienced and are experiencing. But I enjoyed today's show, and I appreciate all of those who called, those who texted. I appreciate Naughty and MJ for letting me take the car around the corner for a spin. I appreciate that. Keep it locked here on 96.9 Guardian Radio. Fresh news, smart talk all day. We got the news coming up next. And again, my name is Kahun Uncle Sorrell, also known as Dr. Cleveland W. Enes III. Namaste, family.
When times is hard, you stand up. LUP the man, cause a brand that the fans trust. So even if they ban us, they'll never slow my